It's new faces with a difference. 7 acts, all members of the Ton Up Club. Acts awarded 100 marks or more on their first appearance on the show. Now they're all competing for one of these, the new faces' very own Busker Award. Do you remember from the first time round? Penny Farthing. Sludge Lees. Coffee and cream. Jamie Stone. Carrie Meadows. Jamie Adams. Fairfield Wells. And here to introduce our show, your very own walking, talking busker, revving himself up for Christmas, it's Derek Hobson.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you. Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. A very happy Christmas. I know it isn't Christmas yet, but a very happy Christmas to all the audience here, because we probably won't see you next week. But welcome once again to New Faces. A very special show, as you heard there from Peter Davis, leading us into the programme. Yes, we have got 7 acts that have all scored 100 or more. And to decide on which act will come back to a gala final on, I believe it's March the 29th, or is it April the 2nd? We'll probably sort the dates out very soon. And who knows, on to even greater things in this business of show business is our panel tonight, made up of a very familiar lot, it is too, Mr. George Elric down there at the bottom. Yes, and at the other end, yes, the very lovable face of Mr. Tony Hatch. The suave, sophisticated Mr. Clifford Davis. Every act in this business wants to be a star, and this gentleman is most definitely a star, Mr. Danny LaRue. Evening. Welcome, Dan. I hope you're going to enjoy yourself. Hope you're going to enjoy yourselves, everybody, tonight. A very special show, great acts, and a difficult job they've got in about an hour's time, because, of course, they don't mark the acts until the end of the programme. They just discuss them. And then comes that marking session. Let's start it off, though, with an act from the Cannock area, an act that did very well first time out on New Faces, and they've come back with an original number. They've written it themselves, called We Need Love, and looking at the panel, I don't blame them. Yes, it's Penny Farthing.
We need love to make the world go round. It's gonna go round if there's none. So let's go get some and sow it out. Soon your troubles will be gone. We need the sun to make that great day bright, and the voice to sing a song. So put a smiling in everybody's heart. You know it won't take long.
Well, well. First act out of the bag then this week. Penny Farthing, an act we've seen once before. No recording contract yet, Tony Hatch. I'm just wondering whether there's any chance really for them.
Well, I think the reason for that probably is that they're not actually a great group. What they, you know, they lack a lot in musicianship, but they make up for it in a certain amount of simplicity, and it's an ultra simple song. And I think that there are possibilities that one could take this into the studio and with a little bit of thought get a little more interesting arrangement. I found it a little samey all the way through, exactly the same rhythm, exactly the same beat. I didn't feel there was enough variety in it. But of course it has simplicity, and that might be exactly what it needs.
Yeah, I thought, Daniel LaRue, that the lead singer sounded a bit like Jerry Marsden, didn't he, of Jerry and the Pacemakers?
I hate comparing artists. It's not fair to an artist.
All right,
I think they're
thank you
very...
for putting me in my place immediately.
I think where I think is the boys sing very, very well, and I'm a little bit old-fashioned, so I like to hear words. Yeah. And they're modern enough, and yet they have the simplicity, I think, that Tony's talking about, is that you can hear them, which is a pleasant change. Because most of the records I hear these days, I can't understand a bloody word they're singing. So that made a pleasant change for me. I think they're very charming. They're very nice, attractive group.
I'll give you some Mickey Mouse records for Christmas, Danny, all right?
Yes. Mickey Mouse will be just as good.
Thank you, Clifford Davis. Let's leave the record scene for a moment and concentrate on the
I've been
act.
dying to say that for years, and that's a courage. Anyway, I don't think they're very exciting. I think they're rather run-of-the-mill. I think the lead singer has personality, and I think, if anything, he is better than the rest of the group.
All right, well, you want to finish on that one. George, at the end.
Well, with all those bleeding hearts around them, I can imagine they need love, and that's it. They can't be devalued very much, being only a penny farthing. I like the Alf Garnett shirts. And as Tony says, to me, they're just another group. They need something a little bit different just to make them
That's
top class.
fair enough, George, and I hope you're going to issue a book of those dreadful puns for next Christmas.
Any day.
All right, thank you very much. That's what the panel thought anyway. I wonder what our audience thought at home, but thank you very much, Penny Farthing. Yes. Thank you. All right. Somehow I think we're all going to be cheered up, certainly the panel are going to be cheered up with the next act. This is a gentleman who was just pipped on the post the last time he appeared here by a comic who already has booked his place in the gala final. Mike Stan Douglas is already through there. But this lunatic, and that's all I can really call him, he's a lunatic, he's hoping he's going to get through tonight. I wonder what you think of Mr. Ian Sludge Lees.
I've just fell off a jam jar. Oh! I've been in there 20 minutes. This is a joke, this. Do you know, since I've been famous, ladies and gentlemen... Oh, I'm sorry, but, you know, since I've been, you know, all the girls scream at me in the street and everything, and I had the chance to go to Spain the other week. I've never been anywhere for my holidays, you know, only clean thoughts. And I saw that Spanish streaker, Senior Bum, you know, this is a nice fella. And I saw all the young girls, and they were getting me at it a bit, you know, so I went down this street in Spain, and I saw this big sign, topless restaurant. So I went in, and there was no roof on it. I had a bowl of soup, and it was raining. It took me 3 hours to eat it. Hurry up. And I could speak Spanish, so I called the potato. He said, "How did you find your steak, sir?" I said, "I just looked under the chip, and there he was." And there was an Irishman in this restaurant, you see, and he was sat there, and he said, "I'm sure you're a new face. Is your Sludge, aren't you?" I said, "Yes, I am, actually. You know, I'm famous, you know." He said, "I thought you're terrific." He said, "I thought you're terrific." He said, "Can I borrow your newspaper?" I said, "Well, what do you want it for?" He said, "I want to do the crossword." Well, you know, I have the Telegraph now, the same as the panel, you know, I don't have the Sun. When you're a star, like, you know. And I said, "What do you want it for?" He said, "I want to do the crossword." I said, "Well, it's a bit hard, you know, the crossword in the Telegraph." He said, "It's all right, don't worry about it, Sludge. It's a nice name, isn't it, Sludge?" So he got the crossword, and he went over it with a felt pen in about 3 minutes flat and put it down and he went off to the doctor's to have his wrist pierced. Well, no, we'd had some cufflinks for Christmas. No, not yet. And so I went over to the crossword and picked it up, and 5 letters, toast he'd written, and the clue was to egg on. You get it? Anyway, we've just had some news coming in here, and I've just fancied doing this again, because I did it the last time. So here we go with a little bit of the news. Thank you. Still the same act. Good evening. A raving lunatic went into a church in Stoke-on-Trent today and threw 14 bottles of Domestos over the vicar. He'll be charged on Friday with the bleach of the priest. Steve Austin, the $6 million man, was stopped on the M1 near Birmingham today doing 115 miles an hour. He was fined £30 and dismantled for 3 months. Somebody said it's a good job his name's Austin. If it was Chrysler, he'd never got finished. An Irishman who makes his own cider for Christmas was locked up today by the RSPCA for crushing 112 woodpeckers into a plastic bucket. The cowboy had a sex change operation. Now they call him Wild Bill Hick. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all from me for now, because we've only got 3 minutes, you know. I'd like to thank you all for being a marvellous audience in the studio. I'd like to thank the panel, wish them all a Merry Christmas, and the people at home. Good night, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, that was certainly an early Christmas present. I can assure you that the panel laughed. And in a moment, I'll ask Tony what he felt. But first of all, Danny LaRue, what did you make of Ian Sludge Lees?
Fantastic. Very original, very funny. It's, you know, the thing about having 3 minutes, he made an immediate impact as a lovely gag. I can see sort of buttons and pantomime jumping out of that box. He's an incredibly funny man. He has a marvellous technique. He has a nice way of doing cheeky jokes beautifully. I only heard one joke I've heard before. He's very tasteful. He's one of the funniest men I've seen for a long time.
Thank you very much, Danny. I'm sure the audience... yes. Clifford Davis, who's writing. It's not John Smith down there, is it? No, Clifford.
Well, you know, I see what all these other panellists do, and I think it might be a good thing just to have a look at what I've written. No,
there's 2 L's in that.
Oh, I see. Thank you very much. Now, what I liked about this fellow is he hasn't got any smut. I mean, it was all clean stuff. And you can be funny without being smutty, and I loved what he did. Danny LaRue says all the jokes are new to him except one. He must be younger than I think.
All right.
But I am.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, you can talk about it later. George, down there, what
Well,
did you
the
make?
jokes were new to me, and I liked the way his routine was lovely, the way he presented it, and he's got a lovely face for a comedian, too. I like the get-up as well. That's lovely and beautiful Technicolor, and I think he'll make the grade. I think he's great.
Thank you. And
really do.
finally, Tony, you did laugh, didn't you?
Yes, there's nothing more really to say. He's a naturally funny man. And I would just hope that in the future somebody can see a future for him that's not just as a stand-up comic, because I think he'd make a super TV chat show host, or even your job, Derek.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've only just started the show, too. Thank you, Tony. So much for Christmas. All right, well, that's what the panel thought. The audience, I'm sure, agreed. But Mr. Ian Sludge Lees, thank you. Ian, right. I must remember to start somewhere else than you the next time. Now, a few weeks ago, we were all impressed here by the talents of our next act, a duo who sang Everyone Gets to Go to the Moon. Now, that particular number and their interpretation of it led to all sorts of offers coming in on the Monday after the show. Record companies wanted to sign them up, and in fact, I believe they've already signed up a recording contract, all out of Coming on New Faces. They hope tonight to reach an even wider audience with this interpretation of a Brotherhood of Man number called Love Me Like I Love You. This is Coffee and Cream.
We belong to each other, me and you. As a matter of fact, you the time in the life of every man when he has to say yes, yes I do. Standing closely with you in your borrowed and blue. Take my hand, understand I'm with you. Love me like I love you. Want me like I want you. Need me like I'm needing you. Through the years ahead, you know I'll go on loving you. Love me like I love you. Want me like I want you. Need me like I'm needing you. Through the years ahead, you know I'll go on loving you. All the people that laughed when they found out, and they said that our love would not last. When they're out in the cold, feeling gray and old, we'll be young and alive and in love. Love me like I love you. Want me like I want you. Need me like I'm needing you. Through the years ahead, you know I'll go on loving you. Love me like I love you. Want me like I want you. Need me like I'm needing you. Through the years ahead, you know I'll go on loving you. Through the years ahead, you know I'll go on loving you.
A warm welcome back here to a very special show tonight, the one before Christmas, when we see all the acts that have scored 100 or more. That was Coffee and Cream you had a glimpse of there. You heard them before the break, and George Elric, no doubt, has plenty to say about that.
Coffee and cream, very tasty indeed.
Oh, my goodness.
I heard them the last time they were on the panel, when I was on the panel, and they sang an up-tempo song.
Right.
Now, I know it's a very difficult thing for a boy and a girl to get a song that the key suits them, because they're different voices, different type of voices. I think this time they picked a song that was just a little out of the boy's range in the middle part when he had to sing the falsetto part. But nevertheless, they're a great act, and they must make the grade. This is purely constructive criticism. I think they ought to look for songs that suit both the voices rather than just suit one. But they sing a beautiful song, and I think they were better in the up-tempo song. I thought they were great in the up-tempo song. Maybe a ballad is a little bit more difficult.
Fine. Would you, there's George Tony saying a few things there about the choice of song, the way they did it. Would you go along with that?
Well, I remember seeing this couple on the programme where I think they came second, and I felt at the time that they really should have won, and probably under the old marking system of the third category of star quality they would have done, but under entertainment value they lost a bit. But they're a smashing looking couple. They've got double appeal because the girl appeals to the fellas and the fella appeals to the girls, and I think they have an enormous future, and I don't see any reason why, even though maybe this number was a little low key, I just think that they're going to make it.
I hope so. Thank you very much. Tony Hatch has been very encouraging their audience. What are they saying? Yes. Dan LaRouge, What about you?
Well, in my experience of theatre especially, I'm not well in on record theatre and clubland, I think they're a knockout. I think they're one of the best boy and girl acts I've seen in my whole career. They're very good looking, very chic, very smart, clean cut. That's it. They're top of the bill.
Thank you very much. And just a few words, please, from yes, why not? from Clifford.
Well, I think it's all been said. I think Danny LaRue should have him for a summer season or something.
Well, maybe Danny might do that. We'll prompt him a little later.
Lovely idea.
Thank you very much, Clifford, for the idea. And thank you, Coffee and Cream. Yes. I shall come back and ask Danny about that later, maybe. All right, well, now we've already heard tonight Penny Farthing, and they were on the same show as this next act coming on. A young fellow from Dublin who's a singer, songwriter, pianist. Indeed, the song he sang the last time he was on New Faces is currently the #1 record in Ireland. Tonight he brings over with him another new song for us, appropriate one for Christmas, Alice in Your Wonderland. This is Jamie Stone.
You may not have met her, but you know she's always there. And though you never notice her, you see her everywhere. She's just a face among the crowd, one of many of her kind. And no one knows just what she feels. She never speaks her mind. She never hits the headlines, never features in the news. And no one ever has the time to ask her for her views. For all her days are every days, each one is like the rest. And all her ways are simple ways, because it suits her best. Oh, Alice in your wonderland, what secrets are untold. And in your magical looking glass, whose face do you behold? Do you see someone you might have been, or maybe someday will? Or is it someone you once knew, whose memory lingers still? Do you ever dream of being a queen, sitting on a throne, or a movie star upon the screen, things that you've never known? Do you ever wish you were a bird, soaring in the sky, never having to look back to where your presence lies? Oh, Alice in your wonderland, what secrets are untold? And in your magical looking glass, whose face do you behold? Do you see someone you might have been, or maybe someday will? Or is it someone you once knew, whose memory lingers still? Do you see someone you might have been, or maybe someday will? Or is it someone you once knew, whose memory lingers still?
Thank you very much. There's a great deal of talent about tonight. I'm sure you can feel it and sense it there. That was Jamie Stone, a number written by himself. Tony Hatch has written so many hit songs in his time. I'm wondering whether you've got kind words to say about this gentleman's songwriting.
He's got great talent. The competition is very great at the moment, you know, for this kind of music. Forget that he sits at the piano and plays, because there are a lot of people doing that anyway. But I think that with this kind of talent, these kind of songs, that he's got to, in time, come through with the big one that's going to make it for him. And you're right, there's a lot of talent on the show tonight as well.
Yes, thank you very much, Tony, for being so encouraging. Yes. Now then, so far you've got coffee and cream in this summer show of yours, Danny. I mean, any room for this act as well?
There's always room. They're too good. Yeah. I think the young
They're
man...
too expensive for you.
They will be
You've been
by
looking. No, I think the boy has got great charm. Again, I love hearing words, and these words are very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Lovely idea, Alison, the one they're looking like, really, but it's lovely. Charming, great talent, and if he's got a #1 in Ireland, it's on the way, isn't it?
#1 here, maybe.
Yes, please God.
Thank you very much, Danny, and to Clifford.
Well, he's got this slightly strangled sound, which is popular.
Unfair.
No, it's very popular. Rod Stewart's got it, and David Essex has got it, and they're superstars. I'm not knocking it, it's simply that doesn't mean anything to me.
It doesn't mean anything to you. You're shouting rubbish, Tony. I mean, you think that...
You'll get a slightly strangled look if you're not
No, all right. Now, George, just to sum up.
I think he's a brilliant musician, and I think the lyrics were beautiful. He evidently listened to what the panel said the last time he was on, because the song he sang last time, although it was very, very lovely, wasn't just quite commercial. This one is commercial, and I see nothing but success for this boy.
Why, thank you. Well. Hope you have a very happy Christmas, Clifford. Anyway, we'll be marking at the end of the show. We'll be marking at the very end of the show. Don't worry, we're not marking at the present. Let's move on, though, to meet a lady who, straight after appearing on New Faces the last time, she has been booked for a pantomime up there in Manchester. Good luck with that pantomime. Tonight, she's choosing a song which Johnny Mathis is having big success with this Christmas. Yes, When a Child is Born is the song, and this is Carrie Meadows.
because the world is waiting for one child. Black, white or yellow, nobody knows, but a child that will turn tears to laughter, hate to love, war to peace, and everyone to everyone's neighbor. And pain and suffering will be words to be forgotten forever. It's all a dream, an illusion now, but it must come true somewhere soon, somehow. All across the land, dawns a brand new morn. This comes to pass when a child is born. This comes to pass when a child is born.
Thank you very much. That was Carrie Meadows and a very popular song this Christmas time, When a Child is Born. Clifford Davis, was she strangulated this time for you? Or?
No, she's young and fresh, and I should love it, I know, but, you know, again, I'm glad Johnny Mathis has got a hit with it, but I can't see anybody else getting a hit with it. I think it must be the way he sings it. And this really, again, isn't... My mother will love it. And I'm sure all the mums in the country will love it. But personally, it's not quite my cup of tea.
It isn't your cup of tea. Can you not give us a specific reason as to why?
I think it's gooey. I think it's theatrical. I think it's contrived. But that's not her fault. I mean, she didn't write the number.
You're blaming the song, then?
Yes.
Well, theatre's contrived.
All right. We'll come to you in a moment, Danny. George?
Well, if it's good enough for Johnny Mathis, it's good enough for Carrie. Let's face it. I didn't dislike the song. I think when you talk a lyric, that is a special art in itself. And I think she lost out by talking the lyric, because that has got to be timed. And she was too early, and she just didn't quite get in. That was the only thing that I could criticize about her. But she sings nicely, she looks good, and who knows, in time, she could make it. She hasn't got a pop voice, you see.
Yeah.
It's a different voice to analyze.
Okay, George, the talking part of the song, that one are you, Tony?
Well, although she's not of today, I mean, technically she's a pretty good singer, and she deserves to be getting whatever breaks are going to go with that kind of sound. I don't think the song was the right choice for her, because quite simply that somehow when a girl does that talking bit, it doesn't carry the weight of sincerity that maybe a man's voice can carry. But nevertheless, I mean, she has a right to be here, and I'm surprised that Clifford Davis has been so down on everybody.
Yes, I know. Danny, finally, just one last comment. He doesn't like Christmas, the old Scrooge. Anyway, Danny, what would you...
Well, I would like to say to Carrie, she looks lovely. She has a lovely sense of clothes, very simple, lovely colour, very attractive. There are better numbers for Carrie, that's without a doubt. I know she's going to have a marvellous pantomime because she's so attractive to look at. She'll be very good on the stage. And you see, there are other things. As I've said always before, the theatre is a huge thing. You don't have to rely on records. She's made the audience very happy. She'll make lots of audiences happy.
Quite right.
I wish her the best of luck.
Well, that's great. Lovely to hear that, yes. Thank you, Carrie. We're going to have some Christmas spirit for a couple of minutes during the commercial break so that everybody's friendly when we come back. But we have 2 more acts to see, so please don't go away on this special show. A warm welcome back here to New Faces in Studio 1 in Birmingham. Just before we move on, next Saturday, of course, is Christmas Day, and we have a special all-winners show, and to help to judge that, I see that Jack Parnell, Shaw Taylor, Muriel Young and Les Reed will be along here to look at the 7 winning acts over the previous weeks. And we've got some special guests for you as well. So that's our winners show on Christmas Day. I hope you'll join us for that. Right now, we're trying to find a winner tonight to go straight to our gala final in April. This is the 6th act on the show. The last time she was on, she wrote a song about being on page 3. And now, tonight, she writes a funny song about her family's Christmas call, Santa Missed Us. And this is Jamie Adams.
You ought to be at our house when Christmas time comes round. There's no coal in the fire grate and the snow is on the ground. Me old man's at the boozer till 4:15, and me mother's scrounging pennies off the singers at the door. Santa's missed us same as every Christmas, but we'll have a party just the same. The youngest whippersnapper to visit Santa's cave. I warned him what he'd get from me if he dared to misbehave. 5 years old, as good as gold, I told him was the motto. But when we left, there were much left of Santa's lovely grotto. Santa's missed us same as every Christmas, but we'll have a party just the same. We don't have presents on our tree, 'cause there's no tree at all. One year we had some mistletoe were hanging in the hall, but no one would stand under it to tempt a little sin, 'cause there's dry rot in the floorboards and the ceiling might drop in. Santa's missed us same as every Christmas, but we'll have a party just the same. When Christmas Eve comes, all the kids hang up their stockings nice, but all the fruit and nuts and sweets get eaten by the mice. Me granny drowns her Christmas cheer with a glass of Grandad's tonic. Quick as a flash she's up the pack, 'cause Grandma's supersonic. Santa's missed us same as every Christmas, but we'll have a party just the same. A chicken portion each we had the same as every year. To round it up we had a cup of Grandad's homemade beer. No fancy Christmas puddings here, but Mum says if we're good, she'll stick a sprig of holly in a lump of suet cud. Santa's missed us same as every Christmas, but we'll have a party just the same. When night time comes we all play cards, 'cause the telly's been took back. Strip-jack naked is the game, but it ain't no fun for Jack. Last year I won an overcoat and a pair of woolen gloves, and all Jack won was chilblains and a fortnight on the club. Santa's missed us same as every Christmas, but we'll have a party just the same. Santa's missed us same as every Christmas, but we'll have a party just the same.
Thank you very much. There we are then. That was a bit of a Christmas flavour there from Jamie Adams. Danny LaRue, what did you think about them?
Mark, well, I said earlier comparisons are odious, and they are, but one has to think of another young lady recently with her poetry. I'm rather more inclined to go with Jamie because purely of the music. I think she's very funny. She has a lovely face, very cute. I like the satire in her work. I think she's got a great future.
Thank you very much, Danny, for those encouraging words there. Clifford.
Well, she's a sort of female Lonnie Donegan, really. She's a sort of a sing-along, and I got a chuckle or two, but it's very hard for a girl to be funny, to be a comedian.
I must tell Dora Bryan.
Well, Dora Bryan doesn't come on singing these sort of songs. Dora Bryan doesn't come on singing these sort of songs.
But Dora Bryan doesn't like them like she does. It's marvellous.
As a writer, I agree. As a writer, I agree. I really think this is where her future is, writing them instead of performing them. Right. But if Danny likes to perform them, I don't mind.
I wouldn't mind doing that number. I think it's very funny.
And I think you get more laughs.
Well, I have a bloody sight more experience than Coach this, but she give her a chance.
That's right.
Marvellous.
That's right.
Thank you. George?
I think if this song had been recorded and been put out for Christmas, it could have been a hit. That's what I think about it. She's a very clever girl, Jamie. I like her tongue-in-cheek approach, and I also like the out-of-tune orchestration, which, of course, isn't very difficult for Johnny Patrick.
Oh, dear.
I didn't mean that, Johnny. I didn't mean that, Johnny. There'll be a strike any minute.
Get away from him quickly.
I think she's great, and there'll be a lot of passes for this lassie with glasses.
Oh, my goodness. Well, sorry, Tony, I can't come to you on this one because we have a time problem. We've got to move on. But thank you nonetheless, panel, for those words of wisdom. And thank you, too, to Jamie Adams. Fine, thank you very much indeed. There we are then, Jamie Adams, and just one more act left on this very difficult show to judge indeed. An act from Manchester, and tonight they've also come up with an original song to test the panel and see whether they like them. The song's called Miracle, and this is Fairfield Wells.
think of love. It takes you by surprise, yeah. It comes from above. You can't make it happen, no matter how you try. Baby, now don't you hurry, I will take it slow. If this is love we got going, it's gonna show. You can't make it happen, no matter how you try. Miracle, gonna be a miracle. Miracle, gonna be a miracle.
And that was Fairfield Wells, the last act tonight, and we'll be knowing in a few minutes' time how the panel are going to mark. But first, some comments. Tony Hatch, I cut you off the last time. Off you go.
Yes, well, I think this group has just got promise. I think there's a lot of work to do there. It lacks a little subtlety somehow. You know, they've got a lot of the ingredients that can make success. The competition's enormous, but I would advise them just to keep working hard, and maybe it'll come right for them soon.
All right, thank you very much, Tony. Danny?
Again, I wonder, are they related? Because three of they all look so alike.
Not that I know of.
Very,
I'm sorry.
A lot of
realise
they're very. I like them. They're fresh, young. I was tapping my feet away. I found it slightly. It's a bit loud for me. Tonight it was a bit loud, so a little inaudible, but very young, fresh, and very attractive group.
Again, plenty of promise.
Plenty of promise. Indeed.
All right, Clifford.
Well, you know, Mickey Mouse tells me it's a sound that the public buys, and they made a sound. I couldn't understand a word they were singing, though.
Yes, all right. Oh, I see, dismissing it like that. George, did you understand what they were doing?
Yes, I understood what they were doing. It was a nice, kicky sound, but not quite ready, as Tony said. I think they've got a little way to go, but they have promise, and they should keep at it. Takes rehearsals, takes time to get it all together, and I like the nice beat the drummer got. He got a nice lifty off beat, but just a little bit too exuberant for me.
A bit too exuberant.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, panel. That's what they thought about the seventh act, and thank you too to Fairfield Wells. Okay, well, here's our little busker ready for the winning act tonight, and the act that will be going into that gala final. There he is. We now wait to hear what the panel have to say, and I'm going to start with George Elric, remembering the process that we normally have on these type of shows. Marks out of 100, George, for the 7 acts, and off you go.
Penny Farthing, 80. Ian Sludge Lees, 90. Coffee and Cream, 94. Jamie Stone, 95. Mary Meadows, 80. Jamie Adams, 100. Fairfield Wells, 92, and Clifford Davis, 0.
I'm not going to ask you why you marked the last act that way, but I see that looking at the scoreboard, we've got Coffee and Cream in 3rd place, Jamie Stone 2nd place, but emphatically Jamie Adams first with 100 so far. I see. Ah, well. Well, that's a good start. Clifford Davis, what would you like to add to the proceedings in the way of marks out of 100?
I'd like to say goodbye to everybody, and it's been nice knowing you.
Off you go.
Penny Farthing, 80, Sludge Lees, 85, Coffee and Cream, 100, Jamie Stone, 80, Carrie Meadows, 75, Jamie Adams, 80, Fairfield Wells, 60.
Thank you very much. Well, lo and behold, George Elric gave 100 to Jamie Adams the last time, and now we get 100 coming from Clifford Davis for Coffee and Cream. You were entertained by that act, then,
yes.
Clifford. I'm very glad to hear that. OK, well, it means that Coffee and Cream are now suddenly the leaders after halfway. We come to Danny LaRue next, and it's still pretty close. Off you go, Marks.
Penny Farthing, 85, Ian Sludge Lees, 98, Coffee and Cream, 100, Jamie Stone, 90, Carrie Meadows, 80, Jamie Adams, 90, Fairfield Wells, 75.
Thank you very much. I see in third place Jamie Adams so far. Ian Sludge Lees is in second place, but the leader, and now with quite a gap, is Coffee and Cream. Danny, if I can just come back to you, looking there at the scoreboard, why did you mark it that way?
Well, I think that they are very special. Everybody's very difficult tonight because, as the audience will say, they're all marvellous. But, you know, there's always a winner. There are no losers tonight, by the way. There are no losers. They're all excellent actors and all do very well.
Do you think you could put yourself at the top of this bill?
Yes.
I'd take it out in a summer show or something?
Yes, this show could go out as a package, exactly, because there's so much contrasting acts, you see.
Thank you, Danny. All right, well, we just got one more set of marks to come. We don't know yet definitely whether or not Coffee and Cream are going to hold the lead, so, Tony, let's have that final set of marks.
Penny Farthing, 74. Ian Sludge Lees, 90. Coffee and Cream, 97. Jamie Stone, 86. Carrie Meadows, 70. Jamie Adams, 81. Fairfield Wells, 77.
In third place, and indeed in joint third place, we have Jamie Adams and also tonight Jamie Stone, the two Jamies in equal third place. In second place, Ian Sludge Lees. But the winner, yes, and there it's flashing up there on the scoreboard, just 9 marks out of a possible 400. We seem to have lost a figure there somewhere, but 9 marks out of a possible 400, and the act that we'll see on the gala final is Coffee and Cream. Tony Hatch, many thanks indeed. A very happy Christmas and good luck with Rock Nativity, which is on Christmas Sunday, I believe, on ITV. Right. I hope that that's a big success. To Danny LaRue, good luck with the pantomime starting next week in Coventry. I'm sure you'll be a big success as always.
And if Jamie Adams would like to come and do work at my hotel,
all right,
and Walton Hall at Wells, won't you be marvellous?
All right, you can come and work for Danny LaRue at his hotel. And to Clifford Davis, many thanks, and I hope it's a very happy Christmas, Clifford. You know, cheer up. And finally, George Elric. Until next week, Christmas Day, goodbye. Yeah.
Z. 4722, New Faces, Part 1, Take 1. B.
It's New Faces. Tonight, from the heart of Britain, we bring you once again your weekly lineup of 7 new acts. And here's your resident host and compere, Derek Hobson.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the programme. A nice warm studio audience here in Studio 1 in Birmingham tonight. As always, 7 more acts on the show. We've got 2 winners to go into the winners' show in October already, so tonight we're looking for a 3rd act to join those 2 lucky winners so far. And that depends on our panel. 3 new faces, although we've one of those 3 new faces we've seen a couple of times before on the show, but first a very familiar one. At the end and closest to me tonight, the most successful man in our record business, Mickey Mosts. Yes! Well, for the past couple of weeks, you've been meeting people from Fleet Street, and tonight we've got another lovely lady to welcome from the Daily Express. She's TV critic there, Rosalie Horner. Yes. You could say our next 2 panellists come by arrangement with the British Dental Association, starting with, from Radio Wonderful, Mr. Tony Blackburn. And you could never mistake those chops at the end. They belong to Don McLean, yes. I think we should put star filters on those, actually, Don. They would look fantastic at home there. Anyway, I hope the rest of the panel get their teeth into it tonight as well. And we've got some very good acts for you. I think you're going to enjoy the very first act on the bill. They're all from London, from Bethnal Green, in fact, and they've only been together as a group about 5 months. They're a new band. They've got a new song for us, too, and the song is called Ooh La La Me. And that's how we welcome the Artful Dodgers.
Well, I was here before knocking at your door. Don't you remember me? It's been a long, long time, but you're still looking fine. Funny how things can be. Yesterday in France is down, but now you're back with some fun. So don't you ooh la 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 me. Don't you ooh la 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 me. Hey, don't you ooh la 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 me. Hey, don't you ooh la 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 me. Hey, don't you ooh la 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 me.
Good, that's our first act tonight. The Artful Dodgers. You couldn't have mistaken the song. It was called Ooh La 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 Me. We heard it a few times. Mickey Most. I thought they looked a commercial sort of outfit, didn't they? They had the looks about them which are of today.
Oh, yeah, they look very compatible. I quite enjoyed that as well. You know, image and sound are the two things that rock groups have to get together, and they've certainly got image. Now, I've got the feeling that they haven't been playing together for too long, but when they sort of work together more, I think it'll get tighter. But they're in for a shot. I really enjoyed it. I thought lots of energy.
Mickey thinks they've got lots of energy, yes. And I know that the one panellist that groups love seeing on this programme is Mickey Most. So when he likes the band, I don't know why, he says. Anyway, sitting a little further